a tighter ship.
My name is James Gomez from Arts and Social Sciences, Year 3. I would like to direct the following question to the Prime Minister, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. Sir, with increasing stability in Singapore and easing of world tension, do you foresee the disposal of the Internal Security Act, which empowers the government to detain people without trial? Thank you.
I see the need to use this Internal Security Act radically reduced because of the communist collapse. I don't think it is likely that they can win new converts or make subversion the same threat. When the myth of invincibility, that history was on their side, they are the wave of the future, they can generate a certain enthusiasm, the urge to bring about spectacular changes in society rapidly, and suck in the idealists, as they did in my generation, and they did in the generations in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. I think the 80s, they started wobbling, and in the 90s, I believe it's almost impossible. You can get anarchists, you can get Trotskyites, you're not going to get hardline, disciplined communists. But that's not the end of our troubles. You're going to have extremists of various sorts, and we give up these powers at our peril. You know, we arrested 4 mystic types who were collecting weapons of all sorts in preparation for a bloodbath. This was about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I can't remember the name of them. They weren't the Silat group. What was the group called? Can you remember? It included 1 police officer. You're going to have this recurring from time to time. People who, fortunately, they are fringe groups. You leave them, they become mainline groups. That's the lesson of Sri Lanka. Every time I read about Sri Lanka, I ask myself, could they not have stopped it before it got to this stage? Because at this stage, it's not stoppable. Jaffna Tamils versus Sinhalese. They have been on the same island for 2,000 years, different parts of it. Jaffna Tamils in the northeast, Sinhalese in the south. The British brought them together. Railroads, communications, recruitment of the civil service by competitive examinations, and the Jaffna Tamils came south and took up many of the civil service jobs. Then came the rivalries after independence, switched from English to Sinhalese as the official language in order to exclude the Jaffna Tamils from the civil service, and so on and so on and so on. In reaction, the Jaffna Tamils organized for federal separateness. Eventually, they got nowhere. Finally, they went for Tamil Eelam, which means independent state. And the Tigers and all the rest of it. If, right from the word go, the government had been committed to maintaining a plural society, and any group that advocates separateness had been dealt with, they would have dealt with fractions of society. Detain them 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, cut off their influence, isolate them, debunk them, release them. It would never have come to this. Now, it cannot be reversed. There's so much passion and hatred. You're going to have Sri Lankan maids for the next 30, 40, 50 years. Well, what else is there to do? You're not going to have economic development. You're not going to have investments. And I suggest to you that we would be foolish to believe that we have become a nation. we are just on the way to becoming something resembling a community. You therefore need these powers to stifle destructive groups before they gain too much influence and power, before they've aroused so much emotions that they become mainstream groups. But it's left to the younger generation, because if all of you think so and you influence the younger generation of workers, eventually they will elect a government that says, right, let's abandon it. Then I say good luck to you.